Spiritual Manthan.
Behind every person filled with dreams, hopes, and aspirations lies a heart that often encounters moments of pause and reflection. You know, life isn't just about moving forward at full speed, chasing after goals. Sometimes, life taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, slow down. Think for a minute." Recently, I found myself in that very situation. I sat down, overwhelmed by all the future possibilities, and felt a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Have you ever been there? Thinking about what's next, but also feeling a little anxious about it? In those moments, something hit me. Life will never be a smooth, straight road. We dream of a perfect path, don't we? A path where everything just clicks, and we glide towards success. But here's the truth: bumps, detours, and obstacles are all part of the deal. It's inevitable. And while we can't control everything, what we can control is how we react. That's where the magic happens. Acceptance doesn't come easily, though. At first, you might resist it, thinking, "No, things have to go my way." But life isn't always so accommodating. I realized that while I could dream big, I also needed to embrace the unexpected pauses. The moments when things don't go according to plan. It's in these pauses that we often grow the most, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. Maybe you've had a similar experience. You plan something, give it your all, and then bam, life throws you a curveball. But here's the thing: those curveballs, they're not setbacks, they're setups. They teach us patience, resilience, and the art of letting go. And that's where the journey of true acceptance begins. Problems, obstacles, and setbacks, they're not optional. They're inevitable. It's like signing up for a roller coaster ride and expecting it to be all smooth. But what if, instead of resisting, we just accepted that the ups and downs are part of the ride? I mean, think about it. When was the last time something didn't go exactly as planned? Probably pretty recently, right? And in those moments, we have a choice: resist or accept. Whenever I've faced challenges, my first instinct has always been to question them. Why me? Or what went wrong? These are the kind of questions that run through our minds. But you know what I've come to realize? Some things don't need an explanation. There's this deep wisdom in simply accepting that life will sometimes not make sense, and that's okay. It's freeing, really. It's like letting go of a heavy weight that you didn't even know you were carrying. Not everything needs to be dissected or understood. Life, in its truest form, is unpredictable, and we spend so much time trying to figure out why things happen, when, in reality, some things just are. Have you ever been stuck in a situation, endlessly wondering what went wrong, only to come out the other side realizing that it was never about understanding it? It was about moving through it. That's what acceptance is about. It's about acknowledging that not everything needs a solution or explanation. There's a certain peace that comes with acceptance. It doesn't mean you stop caring or trying. It just means you're not fighting reality. You're flowing with it. And that shift from resistance to acceptance is where real power lies. Life doesn't always go according to plan. And that's something that can be really hard to accept, especially when you've got big dreams or goals that feel so close, yet out of reach. But here's a thought: what if those pauses, those unexpected detours, aren't roadblocks at all? What if they're part of a bigger plan that we just can't see yet? I remember a time when I was all set on achieving something. I had everything lined up, gave it my best, and then nothing. It felt like the universe had hit pause on my dreams. I was frustrated, confused, and honestly, a bit heartbroken. Have you ever felt that? Like you're doing everything right, and yet the doors just aren't opening. In those moments, it's easy to feel like giving up. But here's where acceptance comes in. Every time we hit a pause, there's a purpose. It might not be clear right away, but over time, it reveals itself. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe there was something else in life that needed your attention first. Or maybe you weren't ready for the dream you were chasing. The point is, life has a way of knowing what's best, even when we don't. Think of it like this. You're walking through a forest, and the path suddenly disappears. You could stand there, frustrated, wishing the path would magically reappear. Or you could pause, take in the beauty around you, and trust that a new path will reveal itself in time. The pause is part of the journey. It's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. And when you accept that, you start to see life's pauses, not as interruptions, but as moments of hidden wisdom. There's a common saying, let go and let God. Now, whether you're religious or not, there's something profoundly true about those words. The more we try to force things to happen, the more frustrated we become. It's like holding onto a rope and pulling with all your might, hoping to control the direction. But the tighter you hold, the more resistance you feel. Sometimes, the real strength is in letting go. I've always been a bit of a perfectionist. I like things to go a certain way, and when they don't, I used to feel like it was a reflection of my effort or my worth. But here's what I've learned over time. Not everything is within our control, and that's okay. Have you ever tried to control something so tightly that it just fell apart? It's a hard lesson to learn, but once you do, it's life-changing. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about trusting that life has its own timing and wisdom. When we try to control every aspect of our lives, we not only exhaust ourselves, but we also miss out on the beauty of the unexpected. I used to spend so much time trying to figure out why things weren't working out the way I wanted. But eventually, I realized that not everything needs a reason or an answer. Sometimes, things just are, and our job is to accept them and move forward. There's a kind of grace that comes with letting go. It's like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. You feel lighter, freer, and you realize that maybe, just maybe, life knows what it's doing. The universe isn't out to get us, it's here to guide us, if we're willing to let go and trust the process. Gratitude. It sounds so simple, right? But man, it's powerful. When life feels overwhelming and everything seems to be going wrong, gratitude has this almost magical ability to shift our perspective. It's like flipping a switch. When you focus on what's going right, even if it's something small, the weight of what's going wrong starts to feel a little lighter. I remember a time when everything seemed to be falling apart around me. I was frustrated, angry, and honestly, I was feeling pretty hopeless. But then, someone gave me a piece of advice that changed everything. Look for one thing, just one thing, that you're thankful for today. It seemed silly at first. How could being thankful for something small change the big problems I was facing? But I gave it a try, and it worked. It didn't solve my problems, but it shifted my mindset. Suddenly, I wasn't just drowning in negativity. I had something to hold on to. Gratitude is like an anchor in a stormy sea. It doesn't stop the waves, but it keeps you grounded. It helps you focus on the good, even when everything else feels overwhelming. And once you start practicing it, you realize just how much there is to be thankful for, even in the midst of chaos. Life is always going to have its challenges. That's a given. But gratitude gives us the ability to face those challenges with a little more grace. It reminds us that, despite everything, there's still good in the world. And when we focus on that good, we start to feel a little more peace, a little more happiness, and a lot more hope